Hello, and thank you so much for joining me on the Community Ledger. Today, we are going to continue to delve a little deeper into what happened to all of that money. What happened to the over $1 billion of campaign funds that Kamala Harris spent through in 90 days. So we've got an interview between Andrew Cuomo and Lindy Lee. Lindy Lee is going to be a campaign advisor, and she helps comb through some of these expenses to find out exactly what happened. So stay tuned.
So Oprah says she wasn't paid a cent by Harris. The campaign did pay her company $1 million to produce Oprah's star-studded town hall. Well, isn't that paying? And the Harris team reportedly spent six figures to build that set I told you about on that Call Her Daddy podcast, which I got her hundreds of thousands of views, but I don't know that it was cost effective. And then you got Eminem, then you got Beyonce. So let's talk to somebody who lived it, okay? And is speaking out now with her own concerns. Lindy Lee joining us now. Lindy, thank you very much for taking the opportunity.
I'm a huge fan of yours. I've watched you for like a decade, so thank you so much for having me.
Well, it is good to be here. And let's start just with you for a second with this question. What are you doing talking about what happened in the campaign and absolutely putting a target on your head, let alone your back? Why would you do this?
If we don't confront reality, if we don't address these very serious issues, we're going to keep losing. And I really like what you've said, earlier in the segment. If we don't recognize that America is shifting rightward, we are going to keep losing. If we don't have a financial accountability and some sort of very serious accounting of how exactly we spent $1 billion in 2 to 3 months, how are donors and even everyday Americans who gave their $10 and $25 ever going to trust the Democratic Party again? We need a serious postmortem to show that we're learning the lessons, that we are exposing everything that went wrong, and that we are going to do better in the future. We can't just throw everything under the rug and assume that daddy's going to fill the piggy bank again.
What do you think of these allegations of what Oprah, either they paid the production company or they didn't. I've never heard of people getting paid for endorsements. Paid to perform, maybe, but usually they give it. But do you believe it?
It's not a matter of believing. It's literally in the report. And she can deny it however much she wants to, but it says Harper Productions on the FEC report. I really don't know how you get around that. It's her company, and she may not have gotten paid personally as a person, but it paid her company. So I think this is a matter of semantics. She got paid.
So my question is, why would Oprah want to lie about that? Even if your company got paid and you didn't make a profit, why does that need to be a lie? That's questionable to me.
And it's just, if my donors had known beforehand that the money would be dispersed this way, I do not think they would have given. It's a sacred trust. These people, a lot of my donors have worked hard all their lives. And again, these are everyday Americans around the country. I didn't just deal with big donors. I also fundraised from grassroots donors who gave $25, as I mentioned. I did something called Geeks and Nerds for Harris. People are giving like $10 to $15. These are people, some people are living paycheck to paycheck. So it's a sacred trust for them to give money to a campaign. It is our utmost responsibility to use that money in a responsible manner and to not treat it as OPM, which is other people's money. If we can't handle campaign money the right way, how can Americans possibly trust us that we would handle taxpayer money the right way?
And she's right about that. That to me is incredibly insulting. You had regular people who have regular 9 to 5s donating $10 to $15, whatever they can, because they believe in this movement, and that money spent going toward Oprah, Beyonce, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B. That is unacceptable. That is just unacceptable. People, like she said, if people had known that their money was going to just go into the pockets of celebrities, people who are already making millions of dollars, they would have never donated in the first place. It's just not right.
Did you think you were going to lose?
This is a very hard question. Very hard. So we were told 100% that we were going to win up until I think 9 to 10 p.m. on election night, which is stunning. I had a DNC official telling me on the night of that we were going to win ruby red Iowa. And I was just looking, I just was wondering if he thought I was stupid. He said it in earnest. And I also found out that the guy's being pushed out, the same guy who said that to me. Actually, I think the entire DNC leadership is going to change in the next couple of months. There's going to be, I mean, there's going to be hell to pay. This is just, this is not a 2016 loss. This is a shellacking. This is not a squeaker race. This is a resounding defeat. It pains me to say that. As you said, I put a target on my back. Actually, you'd be surprised that I have dozens of donors blowing up my phone telling me to stay the course. They may not have the guts to say it or the platform, but they want me to keep going because it's their money too. And we let the American people down.
And Lindy, I know that you're worried about staffers and people who need the money, unlike the celebrities who haven't been paid yet. So here's what I can do. Whatever happens next, you have a platform here to discuss it, okay? Whatever comes out about you or you believe that isn't true or whatever it is, you've got a platform here to discuss it. You just give me a call and you got it, okay?
Oh my gosh, that's so kind. That's so kind. Thank you for saying that. I'm also not worried about me because I'm someone who's never even like smoked marijuana. I don't even drink alcohol. So I live my life in such a rigid manner. I'm a workhorse, you know, so I'm not afraid of what people could possibly say. It wouldn't be true. So come at me, you know, everything that I've said, every single hour, it seems like what I've been saying has been substantiated. Just in the past couple of hours, we saw that the Harris campaign gave Al Sharpton his company $500,000. And a few moments later, he was endorsing her resoundingly. And this is not good optics. It's journalistic malpractice. You know, perception is reality in this industry. And
I can't disagree with anything you're saying, except the no drinking and marijuana thing. But hey, you make your own choices. You're always welcome here to discuss what happens next, okay?
Okay, so look at this. And this was in Politico. Harris campaign rejected Black Caucus $10 million outreach proposal to undecided Black voters. Now, remember in a few videos back, I said that at the very beginning of her campaign, Black voters, Black people in general, were a non-factor. She was not interested in the Black vote until she saw her numbers decline. And that's when they called out Barack Obama. That's when they started all this finger wagging, et cetera, et cetera. However, what we just found out is the Black Caucus reached out to her prior to all of that, trying to, one, use some of the money that she raised specifically for campaign functions so that they could appeal to Black voters. And let me see what happened. Okay, so it says Kamala Harris's presidential campaign rejected an offer in late summer to spend millions to persuade and turn out Black voters, a group that Donald Trump made significant inroads with on his way to returning to the presidency. The Congressional Black Caucus brought the Harris campaign a $10 million plan in September to mobilize undecided Black voters in key swing states, according to a memo viewed by Politico. Now, that's two things, okay? So one, you would actually be able to do more outreach in those demographics like Pennsylvania, which she lost, like in Georgia, which she lost, Michigan, things of that nature. You could actually have people on the ground knocking on doors, really reaching out to these people, finding out exactly what they need and what they want so that you can address it while you're on the campaign trail. She denied it, not interested, okay? Two, the second thing is you could actually put money in the pockets of that specific community. You claim, or they would like to pretend that they genuinely care about the Black community. So why would you not put some of that funding toward a team that would be on the ground going door to door to gain Black support and Black voters? So you would have killed two birds with one stone. You would have actually invested in this community, which you claim to be your own, and you would have actually had more of an outreach in those markets where you did poorly. But that to me goes to show you how much she's just not interested in not only the Black vote or the Black community at large. And so let me go ahead and continue reading. It was a move that the campaign ultimately refuted, according to two people familiar with the matter who were granted anonymity to discuss private conversations. In a memo dated September 16th, the Black Caucus approached the campaign about a project dubbed the Freedom and Opportunity Bus Tour. Its goal was to target and mobilize Black voters who remained on the fence about the candidates, with less than 50 days left before Election Day. It called for $1.5 million for a bus tour that would deploy Black Caucus members to those key states, and another $8.3 million for a pair of social action groups, Let It Resound and Rolling Sea Action Fund, that focused on battleground House districts that had a Black voting population of at least 8%. The bus tour would have been a 12-stop stretch across critical battleground states that Trump ultimately won and is on track to win: Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, North Carolina, Nevada, and Arizona. It also called for stops in Nebraska's 2nd Congressional District, which Harris ultimately carried. It is not clear why the Harris campaign rejected the proposal. Campaign officials did not immediately respond to a request for comment. So there you have it. They were proposing, let's use some of this money to get on the ground, get in some of these battleground states, talk to the people. It's Black faces, the National Black Caucus, going into these barbershops, going into these communities to see what these people really want and need so that we can get them on board for the Harris campaign. She said, no, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in Black voters. I'm not actually interested in investing any real money into the Black community. And I'm just not interested, period. Right? And so that was a decision that she made with regards to her campaign. However, spent $10 million for Beyonce to speak for 4 minutes. Spent $5 million for Megan Thee Stallion to twerk. Spent however much money she spent for Glorilla and Cardi B. Spent $1 million, or gave $1 million to Oprah Winfrey, who's already worth over $1 billion. Gave Al Sharpton over $500,000 for his endorsement. So she paid all of these celebrities to endorse her. So that means, in my mind, you weren't genuinely endorsing her. This was a paid endorsement. This is no different than doing a Pepsi commercial. So to me, it's just incredibly disingenuous. You have all these celebrities acting so emotional over Kamala. They don't give a damn about her policies. And not only that, they're literally taking money out of working class citizens, from working class citizens, and putting it back into the pockets of celebrities, multi-millionaires. Like Lindy Lee said, you have all of these people who gave $10, $15, who didn't even have real money like that to really be donating to this campaign, but did it because they believed in the cause. And then it goes into the pockets of celebrities who are already worth millions. Even with the Call Her Daddy podcast, she spent over $100,000 building that set. But why did she spend that money? Because she didn't feel like going to California. Are you serious? She spent 6 figures, over $100,000, to rebuild the Call Her Daddy podcast set in Washington, D.C., because she didn't feel like going to California on her private jet. That shows you how weak and unqualified of a leader this woman is. Okay? She had 3 months, over $1 billion to run this campaign. Not only did she fail miserably, but she didn't even address the markets in which she needed the most outreach. Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Michigan, Georgia, you know these are battleground states. Why are you not investing? You know why she wasn't investing? Because she didn't give a damn. She wanted to focus on, suburban white women and women as a whole, every race, every demographic, because she was only pushing abortion. She didn't really care about the economy. She didn't care about the border. She didn't care about any of that. And she most certainly didn't care about the Black community. So for all you Kamala supporters who want to get on social media and say, I don't understand where these Black people come from, where they can support Trump, let me explain it to you, okay? We could see all that you missed way before Election Day, okay? We could see that she didn't genuinely give a damn about the Black community. We could see that she was not a good leader. We could see that she could not balance a budget. We could see that she didn't give a damn about that border, right? We could see how she was as a leader way before, way before election day, and you guys were just oblivious. We all knew that Trump was going to win because we could read the polls. You just went off what CNN told you. Oh, it's so neck and neck. But even at neck and neck, that's still performing way less than her predecessors. That's way less than Biden, way less than Miss Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and way less than Obama. So how could she possibly win this election? But you ignored all that because you guys were running off joy and emotions and good feelings. And it's like, that's not what is top of mind for the public, right? And so, okay, you throw this woman out and say she's black, she went to Howard, she's an AKA. Well, most people don't give a damn about that, okay? We don't give a damn about that. That does not pay the bills. That does not create opportunities for our future. That does not educate our children. That does not keep us safe, okay? So most adults don't give a damn about that, okay? And so that is why we did not go out in droves and vote for Kamala, because we could see the play. We could see the fraud. The only thing Kamala is good at doing is running her mouth. And truth be told, I'm gonna go ahead and take that back. She's not good at that either, because anytime she's in front of a camera and she's asked real questions, she can't answer. She can't answer these questions. And she goes on this long diatribe of how she comes from this middle class community and her mother was a single mother. And so she understands our plight, which doesn't resonate. Okay. So there's nothing that this woman has genuinely been good at outside of just advancing herself, advancing her own career. Okay. No matter what policy she has ever proposed, she ends up flipping on it as soon as it's time to run for another office. Okay, she's not committed to anything or anyone but herself, and we could see the play. And so you might say, okay, well, what about Trump? He's filed bankruptcy multiple times. Who cares? There's a million businessmen who have filed bankruptcy. There's a million business people who have failed. You can ask many business owners, how many times have they failed? How many times have they been on the brink of disaster and come back? You know what that does? That creates education. That creates an opportunity for you to learn from your mistakes and continue to build back stronger and better than you did before, because now you've experienced your pitfalls. You've experienced your mistakes. Right? She's never had that. She's never experienced that. And it's just like you see now, Trump is so much stronger coming into the second term because he realizes all the mistakes he made in the first term. So he's like, okay, when I came in, I hired all the wrong people. I didn't know what I was doing. This time, I know exactly what I need. I know exactly what I'm doing. And guess what? He's going to run the economy the exact same way. I don't care about Trump and his semantics and maybe some of the things that he says that is crazy. What I care about is his actions, okay? I care about the fact that he's going to do whatever's necessary to get this border under control. I care about the fact that he's going to do whatever's necessary to get this inflation down. I care about he's going to do whatever he needs to do to get these interest rates with regards to housing down. Those things actually affect my life, okay? Kamala Harris graduating from Howard and being an AKA don't mean shit to me, okay? And it doesn't mean shit to half of America, the bulk of America. And that's why you had what, over 75 million people who voted against her, because that was the only thing you were running on. The fact that she's black adjacent, the fact that she's an AKA, that she went to Howard, and she's pro-abortion. Okay, well, that's great for people that have millions of dollars and don't care about the economy because they're going to be able to afford it regardless. But for most Americans, none of that matters. None of that matters. And Lindy Lee is correct. The Democrats really need to do an overhaul with regards to not only policy, but how they're handling this budget, everything, because that is unacceptable. This woman raised more money than we've ever seen before, over $1 billion, and you spent over $1 billion and end up $20 million in debt 90 days later? How is that even possible? Like, I'm trying to wrap my head around how do you even do that? Even once you pay all of these celebrity endorsements, where the hell did this money go? And so I'm glad that mainstream media is now starting to actually like pay some attention to it, and thank God for Andrew Cuomo, because where did that money go? If she's that careless with donor money, how do you think she's going to handle taxpayer funds? How do you think she's going to balance the budget? She's not going to give a rat's ass. She's going to make it rain everywhere. Whoever wants money, here, there's a check, there's a check, there's a check, and it's just going to be complete chaos, and negligence. And I said it once before and I will say it again. We dodged a bullet, okay? So any and everybody who was watching this who supported Trump for all the right reasons, again, I applaud you. I applaud you because you could see the play. You could see that she was ill-equipped. You could see she was not responsible. You could see that she did not deserve to be promoted, okay? And you voted against that nonsense. Has anyone not noticed that this woman doesn't ever seem to like qualify for anything? Like everyone else has to go through some sort of election, some sort of primary. She was in, she did that for 2019 in the primary. She did so poorly that she dropped out, and then she was just given the VP role. And then when it came time to be a presidential candidate, she was given that. And so Lindy Lee on here with Andrew Cuomo is talking about she was guaranteed or someone told Lindy Lee that they were going to be 100% winning. How did you decide that? Was somebody planning to rig the election to where she doesn't even have to work for it? She doesn't even have to answer any real questions. She doesn't actually have to do anything for the Black community. She can just burn through $1 billion and we're going to give her this presidency. I mean, it sounds like that's what they were planning. They were planning some sort of cute coup. Like, how do you just say 100% we're winning? Even when Trump was doing amazing in the polls, even the night of the election, he says, I know that I'm going into this election well. I know the numbers are good, but I can't call anything. You never know what can happen. So how was someone from Harris's campaign telling Lindy Lee 100% you're going to win? Even saying Iowa. I remember when they came out saying that Harris won Iowa, I was like, that is absolutely ridiculous. That means nothing. Whoever is that pollster is lying to the public because Harris needs a boost. Harris needs her supporters to think that they could possibly win so that they can run out there and vote. But that doesn't even make any sense. Iowa's always red. That makes no sense. And you see on election night, she wasn't even close. There was no way she was winning Iowa. So the thing about it is, it's disappointing to me that you have so many people that are Kamala supporters that really don't even have a clue who this woman is. No clue. And don't even care to do the research. Just, I guess, she's cute, she's Black, she's a woman, let's go for it. And it takes a little bit more than that, okay? I am a Black woman, and I want a candidate who actually is qualified. I want a candidate that can actually answer some questions. I want a candidate that I can be proud of, and Kamala has never been it, okay? Never. And so you're not going to put some, substandard candidate up here and think that I'm going to go for it and I'm going to vote for it because she's pro-abortion. That don't have nothing to do with me. That don't have nothing to do with me. And the women who do support abortion, guess what? They can still go get one, okay? Ain't nothing changed. Nobody has lost their rights. And oh my God, speaking of rights, can somebody please explain to me why all these people are on social media crying real tears, crocodile tears, saying that they're losing their rights? What am I missing? What rights are they losing? Here I am, a woman, and I don't feel like I've lost anything. So what rights are these people talking about? Like, I saw a gentleman on Facebook, not on Facebook, on Twitter crying, saying, oh my God, my daughter, my 6-year-old niece is not gonna have rights when she grows up. And I'm like, are you seriously stating that your 6-year-old niece may not have the ability to get an abortion when she's of age? Is that what we're really crying about right now? Are you serious? Like, never in my entire life that I have, never in my parental life have I thought to myself, one day my daughter may grow up and want an abortion, and I've got to make sure she can do that. It's never, it's the furthest thing from my mind. It's the last thing I ever even want to consider, let alone being front of mind and a reason that I vote for somebody in an election. That is just, it's bizarre. It's bizarre. And if it's not abortion, what the hell are these people talking about? What rights are we losing? Please help me figure it out. So, yes. So this whole $1 billion, over $1 billion loss of campaign funds, in regards to Miss Harris, and then her dismissing the Black community and giving the Black community an opportunity to not only outreach Black voters but employ some people in her own community, was disregarded, was shunned off, was dismissed. So there you have it. Okay, so for all of you who are still out there, you know, dying on that sword, dying on that hill about how amazing Kamala is and how we should be ashamed for not voting for her, check these articles out. The way she cared about you and your community is the way I care about her. Okay, she let it be known, I don't give a damn about your community and I don't give a damn about you. And I feel the same way. You know, I feel the same way about Miss Kamala. I'm not thinking about you, you not thinking about me. No harm, no foul. So I went ahead and went in that booth and voted for somebody else. Makes perfect sense to me. Makes perfect sense to me and about 75 million others. Okay? And so, again, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Drea Banu, and this is the Community Ledger.